Hello, this is Shakil Ahmad. In today's tutorial, we will discuss about more about Shiny apps and the basics of user interface and the input structure, how we can select input and we can set different options in input, and we can also discuss different components of input and the different types of input we need to set while building the Shiny app. So let's start with a simple UI function. This consists of a float page and we are selecting input, and this is the input ID. We need to we can just call while using in output, and this is the label what we see on the user interface, and this is the choice of the input. So in here is a choice consists of a list of different data sets within the package data sets, and we have here in this user interface we have already specified the variable team text output, two types of outputs. We will discuss later about different types of output. Here we have the summary of the data, and we can find the table using the table output. So uh, this will give the data in form of a table. So you can just copy this command and then start with this is just an R structure for Shiny app consisting of UI and server and Shiny app. I am just changing these things in user interface. So I have already specified the user interface. So within user interface we have this these commands select input and the type of outputs we have mentioned, and then we can uh, find the output and we can specify the output. So here we are just specifying the inputs and the type of output we are specifying, but to call the outputs you need to write the things here. So for now we can just see this command what it will give. Select and run. It consists of just inputs as we have set. So this consists of input and we can select different types of data. These are the data available in package data set. For example, uh, Lake Horan's data, Johnson's data, Iceland data. You can see the iris flower data. So we have just specified the data. Accordingly, the output will be shown, but we have not specified the output, so it will give no output. And then and these are the basics of UI. It consists of the input. The input to consist of input ID. That is, in this case, the input ID is minimum of the value, and this is the label what we see on the screen, and this is the value that is specified by that will be set as by default, and these are the two values, and we are using a slider input that is just like a scale consisting numbers from 0 to 100. You can just check this, just copy and then You need to first stop the app and then you can run. So this is a slider input. This consists of we can select a number within this range from 0 to 100. So I have already closed and stopped the app for running. And then this is an example of another type of input that consists of text. So we can enter a text just simple, for example, enter your name or enter your ethnicity or something else that consists of a single or two type, just a short text. And the password input that will where you can enter some password that will be shown in form of passwords, and you will not see the exact number what the user is entering. And the text area input that will give an area where you can enter something, you can write some feedback, you can even you can uh, interpret your result using the result on the table. And uh, these are some basic types of inputs. We can see how these inputs work and just select and run. So there is a problem with this, and you need to just make sure that you have and you are using say valid commands. This should be shown in this color, lighter green, and this is the valid input. And you can just run. So here are three types of inputs. Enter your name. You can enter your name. For example, I am a user and I am entering my name, Shakil Ahmed, and this is my password. For example, I am entering some password, and I am teaching Shiny. So you can tell about something about yourself. So these are three types of text you can set in your input. And then we have different types of numeric input. This is a numeric input. You can just enter a number, for example, your age, your uh, some kind of ID that is just in numeric, not should not be character. And if the character, then you can use in text input. And the slider input that we have already discussed, and the slider input with range. So in this case, you need to set a range. Uh, this is the ID of the input, and this is the label, and this is the value. And in this case, you need to specify the a value in a range instead of a single value. Here the value is single value. Here you have selected already in terms of a range. So this is number two and this is a range. So let's see. You can just again select these and see what they display. I'm just changing the input, not there. We have no output for yet. We have not. We are just discussing the input, different types of input. So you need to stop the previous one and then run the current one. You will see here you can enter some number. For example, I am entering some number like weight, something else, and this is the slider input that consists of only we can select a number, and here we can select a range. For example, this. For example, if you want to write certain range of the values, what should be the minimum and what should be the maximum, then you can just specify here. For example, you want to uh, make a plot on the values starting from 3 and ending at 9. And after skipping the values, you can just do that. And then we have other types of input, the date input, where you can enter specific dates for your, for example, what is your date of birth and what is your holiday duration. You can set a single date using date input function, and date range input. You can give a range of dates. For example, your uh, previous experience, you started from that date and you ended, your degree starts from this date and ends to that date. So you can see this uh, type of inputs. You can set the input accordingly, and the user can enter the dates directly in the app. So let's see. So we are setting two types of dates. One is the exact date, and the second the range of dates. So let's run the page. You need to set this one and just select and run. You need to stop the previous one and then run. So here you can see the dates. You can change the date. For example, I'm changing the date of birth. That is this. For example, you can enter your date of birth. For you can change. It will automatically give the overall calendar starting from 1900, I think. And then you can change the range of date. For example, I'm starting from 20 and ending to 26, 25 March. So I'm selecting just this date for my holiday schedule or something else. And the other type of input is you can select the limited choice or the given different choice, and you can select a single choice. For example, you have a set of a list consisting different types of flower, and you are selecting you can ask to select a flower from the list. And this consists of the state names that is already built in the Shiny app, and you can just call these are the states of United States, and you can select a state and you can analyze the data for that specific state. So the user can select the state and see the uh, estimates for or the results for that state. So this is select input, and the state, this is just you are selecting multiple is equal to true. It means there are multiple choices and you can select a state from the given choices. And the radio button that consists of different choices, and you can select a single choice from the list. This is the list. So let's see. Can select. I'm just copying these two types of inputs, and we can see how these can be displayed. You can stop the previous one. Here you can see this is the already previous one. So it was not copied. I think you need to copy this and then paste here. Now you can stop and then you can run. The list of flower is not available. You need to give the list of flower. Basically, you are asking from the users to select a flower, then you should the list should be available in your list. So these are the list. This is a list of flowers, and I think this is not showing. You can just change, and then you can run this command. Still, it has some problem. So here we have here you have an option, and we have selected multiple is equal to true, so you can select multiple states, for example Alabama, Alaska, and Arizona. And here you have only one option. You can select either this flower or this flower or this flower, or you select I had flowers. So that's all about the input choices. And you can also select a file. You can ask your user to upload some file to analyze that will after that you can use that file to produce the results. So first they will upload the file and then they can see the results. So this will give an option of uploading a file. You can just add with this and stop and then run the file. File input is not working, so you have missed a comma. You should put a comma here. Basically, these are three different inputs. So here you can select a file from your computer. You can browse. For example, this here you can I can select a file, and you can specify the type of file as well. I think, but here there is no restriction. You can upload any type of file. So that's all about the different types of outcomes. And you can also select the one is all still remaining, the action button. You can you can ask the users to do some certain actions like start, go, or stop. So, or there is some warning sign, so you can just give an action button. So this is by click, the type of action button is click, and here it is type of next. uh, and here the label is start, and here the label is go next. And the here is an icon that consists of this filters sign that is called cocktail, and you can change the icon accordingly. You have a list of icons as well, and you can change the color of the button uh, using the class argument, and you can also change the size of the button using the size argument. So let's start how we can see these inputs, and I'm just selecting this, and now you need to just stop the previous one and run the current one. So here are two types of buttons. Here it is a start button and it is go button. So users can click and do the action accordingly. And if I want to change this, the class is equal to success. You have different options per class. The button success, the button primary, That will give you a simple button, and this will give a success button. It means you have done a certain type of task. I'm just changing it as BTN and success. So let's see, and you can change it to warning button to that will show in color of warning sign. So it's a start but success button. It means it's you have done certain thing good, and if you change it to warning, it will be in type of yellow color, I think. And you can see this is a type of warning button. It means things are not going uh, good. So I think that's all about the input in a Shiny app. You can specify the inputs in these different types of formats. So that's all about this video, and next video we will discuss about different types of output, and then we can discuss the reactivity of the programming, how the output changes with the change in the input. Thank you for watching.